Volume 3 issues directly explore the subconscious. In these episodes, I provide you with techniques to uncover your own deeper mind content, then illustrate what to look for and show you how to change. But these episodes require focus and undivided concentration. Properly applied, they deliver you deep personal insights into life and your own consciousness, beyond anything you've experienced or can find elsewhere. I suggest you only delve into Volume 3 pieces when you have the time and a quiet setting where you can focus and concentrate. Part 7 of Volume 3 illustrates inner mechanisms held within the subconscious that work as building blocks for real experience. The Essence of Reality explores how the psyche, which you are, creates the reality you encounter. Well, it seems you found the Essence of Reality, presenting a unique view of human consciousness, of your mind, and the nature of your being. We explore life's real function here, well beyond the dim scope of religion and science. Those old views distort your perception of life's real flow. Insights here clarify it. You create your life's real qualities, health, success, relationships. No other source does but you. To see just how that works, stay tuned to this episode. This one's a major element in the adventure. And do come back. We have a great deal to cover. Volume 3 issues all look directly at consciousness. The first 3 reviewed the nature of the subconscious and the value of delving inward. The next 3 provided some techniques to do so. Now, though, we're into specifics. We discussed meditation to begin to quiet the mind. Then we did an expansive look at subconscious information, illustrating tools to explore it, principally self-hypnosis, ideomotor responses, and dream analysis. Now comes the fun part, the nitty, as they say, gritty. This issue delves into exact inner mechanisms of mind that correspond to outer issues in life. In all of these EoR videos, I reference how outer problems in life have inner roots. Here, they will be specified. When found as inner elements wedged into the subconscious, using tools laid out in previous episodes, they can be erased from that inner realm and replaced with positive elements. Life will improve as a consequence. Always. Tom Nair here. As always, exploring consciousness. Perspectives here add to my website, my books, and many talks I've given to open-minded listeners. Indeed, this clip, Part 7 of Volume 3, draws from content from both the Essence of Reality and the Psyche Exposed to delineate real elements that exist within the psyche of each viewer. Specifics that lead to real problems in life. For more detail and information, reference them on my website. Through my own personal inner journey, clearing away exactly such inner negatives, I came to see the oneness of things, an inner-outer connection of mind with reality that drives real life, yours as well as my own. Aware of that connection, you can improve real life by finding and changing inner roots to outer problems, and those inner roots are about to be specified. Consider that life unfolds in meaningful ways based on your intent. Events and relationships you encounter can either fulfill your desires and hopes, good things happen, or negate them. That is, bad things happen in your real life. The third possibility, sometimes overlooked, is that nothing happens. Your intent is neither fulfilled nor negated. When you look at life in these terms, understanding that the basis of life is meaning, not physical objects, you'll notice that your life unfolds in repeated patterns, good ones and bad ones, plus those instances when desires just don't lead to fruition, where nothing happens. For the most part, if you look at it, likely much of your life unfolds positively. Even if you have some physical issues, most likely 99 plus percent of your body is working very well. It is indeed a highly complex interactive system, various organs all interacting, passing nutrients, coordinating processes. Even if you have some problems, much of it works just fine. Same with career goals and friendships. Probably they're mostly pretty good. But real issues can and do occur in health, success, and relationships. And quite often that third option is unfolding, where your intent is neither fulfilled nor negated. Your business venture neither succeeds nor fails. Your friendships, and main relationship, they aren't bad, but they just aren't fully stimulating or loving. Regarding life overall, where you succeed, where you have good health, where you find love, acceptance, and appreciation by others, that's great. Life is working well. Your intent is being fulfilled. In all such aspects of life, you needn't search for inner roots. That's how life's supposed to work. But problem areas present a different picture. If 99.9% of your body works just fine, but your elbow's swollen or you have an allergy that acts up, those are annoyances that catch your attention. Such issues, as well as much more serious ones in health and life, as frequently noted, always have inner roots. These can be found within and dispelled, leading to your body and your life working properly. In finding and reprogramming inner problematic elements, what you're actually doing is restructuring your mindset, rewriting the subconscious, changing the essence of your own composite self, as prescribed in terms of value and meaning. In the intangible realm of mind element, though, specific aspects of self can be difficult to quantify. Scouring the psyche, you can't see emotion, for example. Fear and hope have no substance to them as raw features. They aren't visible themselves in subconscious stores. But all such value-laden aspects are to be found woven into real-life events and relationships, clearly discernible in your memories of life events. So, when you search your psyche for a particular mechanism as part of a real issue, it will be found woven into past memories. Because we create patterns, similar issues to what you are facing right now will also be found in earlier episodes in life, during early adulthood, during teen years, and earlier yet in childhood. Aware of these mechanisms, you'll be able to query your subconscious for their presence as they are connected to the issue you wish to address. That is, you first decide what problem in life you wish to approach and improve. Start with simple things, generally unintimidating physical issues like muscle aches or allergies. Best to work your way up towards serious health, career, or relationship issues by starting with simple issues. At first, if you're new to this, it's somewhat easier to accept that your mind is connected to your body than to external effects. And as you address ever more important elements of health and life, you do so with greater confidence in your connection and your ability to effect change. Earlier issues covered various techniques for exploring the subconscious. These elements are what you are looking for. Using self-hypnosis, ideomotor responses, and dream analysis, whatever combination you find useful, your purpose is to fully identify all inner aspects of the real-life issue. Key among those would be mechanisms involved. I found it best to fully clarify a problematic effect in life by searching it back to its earliest appearance in life. Such patterns recur throughout the years, but current instances can be intimidating, painful, and daunting if tied to relationships. Finding the first instance by looking back through life can be much easier to deal with. Rejection by a parent long ago is likely easier to handle than a current rebuff. Understand, the subconscious is timeless. While you are aware of time conventions, and the subconscious does store time-related information, to the deeper self, it's always now. When you find and deal with an issue in its earlier or earliest instance, you are dealing with it absolutely. You needn't differentiate that earlier pattern from the present iteration. Fixing it then fixes it now, and for good. So let's first itemize the inner mechanisms, illustrate them, then resume with the process of fully quantifying them. For any particular life issue, one or more of these may be involved. In eliminating problem areas, it's vital to find and quantify every element contributing to the issue. Mechanisms of mind. The first couple mechanisms of mind you'll find underlying problems in life are fairly straightforward. Early in life, as we abound in curiosity and fresh vigor of childhood, we're very much open to suggestion. That's the first and a very common mechanism. As naive kids, we believe and absorb a lot of things we're taught, especially when it's reinforced by the authority of a parent, preacher, or teacher. Suggested ideas form much of our worldview, yet very much of what we're told about health and life simply wasn't and still isn't true. So suggestion will be a common element to life's problems, one well worth flushing from your subconscious in all its iterations. As kids, too, we tend to mimic, to copy actions and attitudes of parents, siblings, and TV characters. The second mechanism, as common as suggestion in problem areas, is emulation. When you emulate other people's characteristics, you're not being your natural self. That's a problem right away, but it can lead to manifesting illnesses, frustrations, and other negatives because later in life you're emulating what you idolized in your parents and other figures. Similarly, identification is another psychological trait, a mechanism potentially at the root of real issues. If you identify with your ethnic group or national country, with your gender, with people sharing your hair color or body build, you're very likely to take on their stock traits as well. That can certainly yield problems. The next couple mechanisms of mind are most often associated with parental actions. In passing along their own cultural traits, your parents or other caregivers very often tried to bend you into acceptable standards they'd learned. In doing so, they likely either rewarded you for following their rules and demands or punished you for disobeying them or for rebelling or talking back. In the mechanism motivation, you are given a reward, a positive reinforcement, such as love or ice cream, when you do something they deem good. Likewise, punishment can be induced if your natural response falls outside of their standards. Physical pain can be inflicted just for you following your natural tendencies. Both motivation and punishment are highly detrimental to your own personal well-being. You were made to compromise who and what you are in order to conform to older standards, to be loved. These actions inflicted by caregivers embedded false guilt into your psyche and caused, so you will see, lots of other problems in life. These will persist throughout life if not flushed. Remember, the subconscious is timeless and ongoing. If its elements aren't changed, they persist indefinitely. Even beyond positive rewards or castigation for parents pressing your behavior, force can be yet another. Often parents simply forced you to do various things they deemed correct. Force as a mechanism registered within your subconscious can lead to really problematic situations in later life. Similarly, but less obvious, you often faced what I call subtle force. That's where you weren't exactly forced to do something, but you just didn't have a choice to do otherwise. Imagine as a kid you lived in a rural setting with no friends to play with. In life, repeating the pattern, you find it difficult to develop close relationships. The subtle force was you just didn't have any possibility for a positive situation. Force and subtle force can be powerful mechanisms. The next mechanism, a single event, can leave scars for a lifetime. or until you see and can disengage its damage. A single traumatic incident in life, a family death, molestation, a fall, a car wreck, some distressing event to your childhood self can create echoes of its pain, repeating throughout stages of life, until, that is, you see it and release it. The final pair of mechanisms of mind are real killers: struggle and conflict. Conflict, held within, can be attached to many varied elements of life. It will contribute directly to failure and health issues, to difficulty in relationships, and to problems with anything from traffic annoyances to encountering bad weather for outdoor events. You will find conflict woven into just about any phase of life that yields pain where joy should be. Likely you learn to be in conflict with your body, your siblings, and conditions, or simply experienced parents fighting or bigger kids pushing you around. But there's much more to conflict than obvious engagement. Conflict's adversaries, grit, fortitude, courage, character, are highly prized in our culture. Thus, with personal strength and determination held as a valued trait, conflict is insidious. It pervades many positive values you hold. Held like that, it will impose its core negativity into much of your life. And conflict's quiet cohort, struggle, is just as bad. Struggle held within doesn't lead to painful failure or rejection. It doesn't figure in cancer or loss of loved ones. Struggle just doesn't ever allow for major success, for a fully pleasing relationship or budding energetic health. With struggle woven into life, your business doesn't go bankrupt. It just never really succeeds. Your relationships aren't bad, but they aren't rich and rewarding. Similar to conflict, struggle's antidotes, like endurance and stoic determinism, are prized values of character. It should be no wonder that if you reveal personal traits like that you will build struggle right into your life so you can demonstrate your own character. There you have the lineup of bad guys, the building blocks that negate and neutralize your intent. Your task for each part of life that isn't working right will be to find each and every mechanism underlying the issue, when it first took place, and who was involved back then. There may be many elements involved in each real issue, and issues themselves can be convoluted and interconnected. Lesser issues, allergies, headaches, accident-prone, will likely be less complex. Larger issues in life may well span multiple mechanisms and numerous elements of suggestion, for example. In the 8th issue of Volume 3 here, we'll detail how to search within. But if you've practiced getting reliable ideomotor responses, come to focus well on the inner self. It's rather straightforward to begin, and you can always reference my book, The Essence of Reality, or my website for more details on implementation. Basically, you focus on a problem you wish to address. Then, using queries of the subconscious, you find what mechanisms were involved, including associated details, and one by one, release them. In effect, you reprogram the subconscious. You specifically tell your subconscious that the problematic mechanisms, repeated individually, are now dispelled, left in the past. The process is simple. Basically, the subconscious is like a large slate with info scrawled on it. You're wiping off the counterproductive info and replacing it with positive. But the subconscious can be extremely complex, with lots of negative mechanisms contributing to various problems. So be prepared for a long, slow process. But each step brings improvement in life. And with each such advance, you gain confidence in your ability to impart improvement and greater awareness of your connection to all things. More to look at as we detail the application of self-improvement in the next issue. This issue delves into exact inner mechanisms of mind that correspond to outer issues in life. In all of these EoR videos, I reference how outer problems in life have inner roots. Here, they will be specified. Consider that life unfolds in meaningful ways based on your intent. Events and relationships you encounter can either fulfill your desires and hopes, good things happen, or negate them. That is, bad things happen in your real life. The third possibility, sometimes overlooked, is that nothing happens. Your intent is neither fulfilled nor negated. Regarding life overall, where you succeed, where you have good health, where you find love, acceptance, and appreciation by others, your intent is being fulfilled. But problem areas are annoyances that catch your attention. Such issues, as well as much more serious ones in health and life, as frequently noted, always have inner roots. These can be found within and dispelled, leading to your body and your life working properly. You first decide what problem in life you wish to approach and improve. Using self-hypnosis, ideomotor responses, and dream analysis, whatever combination you find useful, your purpose is to fully identify all inner aspects of the real-life issue. Mechanisms of mind, suggestion, emulation, identification, motivation, punishment, force, and subtle force, a single traumatic incident, struggle, and conflict, the building blocks that negate and neutralize your intent. Basically, you focus on a problem you wish to address. Then, using queries of the subconscious, you find what mechanisms were involved, including associated details, and one by one, you release them. In effect, you reprogram the subconscious.